me. Adrenalina, adrenalina. Yes, for sure.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you. Wow, wow, wow.
What he could, put them in the soup. Sometimes he found some vegetables, put them in the soup. He got us some bears in 1972 and Carranco passed away in 1973. The way I see it, I think he felt that he needed to do something radical if he accomplished it. Because now we were able to enter in Canada in 1974 and we are in more than 60 countries. So, and then in 1983, Dr. Sam became the CEO of Joy. Okay, please let me show you the first one with our so that's fine. The first one was in San Fernando Valley. Here we are. This used to be a farm. Here's my farm. Then you take the one in Habit and then the old one. We don't have any more farms in California. she did a combination of 1,000 plants with 20,000 in a farm in India. So the combination of those trees help us to fight this tomorrow. But the most important thing there, what you know, is that no one has the magic. We do. You have the power. When we see people, for example, what do you think happens? So let's make believe that after the July look like this today, and tomorrow you can make it and Thursday like this, and Friday like that, and Saturday like this, Sunday you make very good, on Monday. So, Nutrilite, it has created products that have nutrients. And also, Nutrilite is going to help us to close this gap of nutrition that we don't have in a diet, and we need it. Okay.
For vitamins or also
Just the vitamin.
not vitamins? Okay, that's
No
important.
limit on the.
Just cats, it's outside. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Italian group, the ones that are number 2 group, Italian and Romanian that are done shopping.
Italian, Romanian.
Stay one group and my coworker will bring you. Okay, I'll just send Romanian. Okay. Romanian. Yeah, it's going to they're going to go. Okay, Italian, follow me, and Romanian that are done shopping, look.
Yes, it is.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. So, okay. All right, so any of the formulas are being created. And we create the We're Botanical Research Center in China, in Wuxi. As you know, China is the oldest world, including here, the ones that are in here. They get into this information bank and everybody gets information, and that's how they retrieve all the ingredients they need. For example, they realize it's very good for our skin, and also it's a very excellent nutrient for. That's one of the ingredients that was investigated there. So this is an intelligent house in the Botanical Research Center where they change, it can change the weather. We see right here, some of the machines that we're gonna see here are in a small scale before we're running into big production. This is a coarse machine, which is a compressor. It can compress 43,000 tablets per minute. 1,000? Yes, because it takes, so it's compressing, it rotates like 40,000 tablets per minute. Okay, over here, that's where our scientists, they made our ingredient here. The first lab, this is where they do testings to make sure that the packaging are correct, the packaging lab. And this is where we have a mixer. This is a small mixer. I'll mix it in a blending way so we don't push the ingredients against friction. So it's in an integrated way. And here we have this is how we are concentrating some of the ingredients that they make sure they have the same particle size. They are not very powdery. So really important for us to do so. This is how the compressors happen, as you can see. But they're gonna explain to us a little bit more in detail. In this section, this is the weight of that. Our scientists over here, the weight of the ingredients, very similar when we look at something. We know how much we need. And in these different ingredients, this is what we have. We have some of the patents. As you can see, 900 patents in Amway. And between approving and not approving, some of them are presentations, and other ones are formulas, and other ones are different machines that we
There you see it running, we're currently running. So a soft gel is composed of two main parts. The film material inside, which is omega or CoQ10, and the hard outer shell that surrounds the film material. The hard outer shell is composed of three main ingredients: water, a plasticizer, and gelatin like porcine, bovine, or pectin. So we take those main ingredients and we mix them together in a high temperature in our tanks to get our liquid gel mass. So once we get our liquid gel mass, we transfer it onto our encapsulator machine, into our spreader boxes. You can see a left and a right side of the spreader boxes. And we transfer them onto our cooling drums, and the spreader box spreads them out evenly and cools them down, forming our gel ribbon that's less than a millimeter thick. So this is we get our left and right side of the ribbon. So the ribbon then gets weaved through the encapsulator machine and through the die rolls. This is our die rolls, and these die rolls are basically like cookie cutters. If you see they're like cookie cutter, and the ribbon goes through here and then cuts out our soft gels out from the ribbon. So as they come through here, right before they get cut out, our wedge right here heats the ribbon up and enough to where it bonds the left and right side together, forming our soft gel. But right before it closes, it also injects our film material inside. So all this happens very quickly, and that's how we produce our soft gel and soft gels. So then it gets transferred through a conveyor and collects in our batch tumblers, and that rolling batch tumbler could hold up to 100,000 soft gels at a time. So once we fill that 100,000, then they get transferred into our drying room, where 24 to 48 hours later, they're ready to package and ship out across the world.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's our soft gel process.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Okay. One of the things I want you to know, for example, they told me the dryers are, you can see here, sometimes it takes between 36 to 72 hours to dry.
A little more.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys probably can't hear me. It goes through the horizontal feed screw,
therefore going to the vertical feed screw, going down into our rollers, making a ribbon using the force gap. As it goes, that ribbon goes down, it's getting milled, and what it does, it gives us flowable material. So with that flowable material, as we're making capsules, will flow down into our dosing disc. Our tapping pin will go down, hit that material, giving us a slug, therefore you get a capsule. So I know I'm doing it quick, but I'm on a strict time limit. So we'll just go ahead and move on towards the end. PK1. And then lastly, this here is our XM12. This is a wide air press. This has the capabilities of making a vitamin and a mineral. So this is what I have here. Unfortunately today, we're running a single one. It also has capability of changing over to a D-type tooling, which we can run bigger tablets on. So that is the end of my tour. I'll pass it on to Nenye. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. We made some mints for everyone, exclusively for you guys. We've used peppermint leaves from Trout Lake Farm. We've then blended it with sorbitol and xylitol and pressed it into a tablet. And just as a small token of appreciation, please enjoy them when the tour is completed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alright, so just for you to know, this is our lobby. In this lobby, this is employees lobby. This is when they wanna see how much cotton they need in the bottles when they're transferring. Also, they submit all the product into high heat and humidity to determine expiration date and also how much temperature they need in transportation. So also in packaging, they do different testings for make sure that they will receive the product. And one other thing, many people have been questioning our business owners. If we use any preservatives, we don't. We use air vacuum. We suction all the air. That's why we don't need preservatives. Okay, so can we be in this side? Please with me.
Yes.
We're gonna go upstairs. You can.
Thanks.
And in here, you guys could come in. In here, this is our indoor farm.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks. Awesome.
Okay, so in here, right now in our Tower 1 and Tower 2 on the first level, we're growing strawberries. And then on our Tower 2, we're growing some watercress. So once when we're done growing our plants, they'll then go into a drying phase. After they're dried, they'll go into a milling. And when they're milled, they get milled into a fine, like fine particles before they get ready for extraction and concentration. There on the desk behind you on the left, there's some seeds there. There's purple carrots, purple carrot seeds, watercress seeds. All these plants here are just for research only. And behind you too, there's some of the equipment that we use. We'll go ahead and place them onto our water beds, which is on the second level. So it looks like. It should start sprouting within a week or two. See, some of them are sprouting. Is there any questions that I can answer?
Well, thank you very much for being here. My name is Rigo, and I work for Amway for 34 years, so I'm very happy to be here too.
I've been working for 3 years here. Welcome.
Welcome. So inside here we have our concentrate lab where we do a lot of our innovations. So our innovation lab, this is where we do a lot of our testing, and we also do a lot of our bench extraction and concentrations. Today in the demo here, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about our process of extraction. So here we have rosemary. You guys got a clear understanding how we do the harvesting from seed to plant, and now this time it's time for the turn for plant to get dehydrated so we can actually extract it. With the right combination and solution of ethanol and water and the right ratio of plant to solution, we're able to extract it using heat in a specific amount. It could be anytime between 60 or 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. It gets extracted, and then from the extracted mode, it goes into our liquid extract. But before it gets here, this is how the plant look. This is how the fibers look after it gets extracted. As you can see, the difference between both of them. And like it becomes a lot smaller particles after all the nutrients are pulled. So this is our rosemary extract. You can see the color changes a little, bright yellow or orange. So from here, it goes into our concentrate. After all the water, and not all the water, but some of the water and ethanol is being removed and alcohol is being removed, this is what we get the concentrate. Now, when this liquid comes here, it's already ready to go to become powder form, which is like this. This is the same powder form that goes into our supplements. Okay. So this is overall a demonstration of how extraction and concentration, how it gets done. And you guys, if you want to feel it, I wouldn't recommend for you guys to taste it, but so that way you have a feel how a final product looks like.
So we can touch?
Okay. Yeah, you can touch.
If you want, you can use that.
If you need gloves, let us know. But
A sample?
yeah,
Yeah, that'll be great.
we have them right here. You want to shoot?
Manuel não fotografasse? Júnior. Excuse-me. Joe.
So this here is our belt dryer. It's also called RWD, that's the actual name of it. Refractance window dryer. That's the latest technology that we have in drying. The way it works is that we add the liquid concentrate at the other end, and the belt will grab the liquid, put it on a thin film, and pass it through the tunnel. And underneath the belt there is hot water, and that hot water makes the liquid to evaporate the water, and at the end you have those knives. The liquid will come in and it will get cut by those knives that are on the front.
That's the liquid coming out.
Yeah, that's already powder form already. The liquid was evaporated through the process.
Okay, after that, become a tablets.
And then after this, it goes to a mill, and then it goes into our product, into our supplements. We also have another technology that we use for drying. It's called a spray dryer. That's a little bit more. Is the one over there?
That's the one.
Yeah, the one that's stainless steel, the big tank. Yeah. So that's so it gets loaded. It gets pumped into the line. It goes inside through an atomizer. And that atomizer spins up around 19,000 RPMs. And then the chamber inside is hot, anywhere between 300 and 350 degrees. So as soon as the spray comes out, the water will evaporate and then it becomes powder form.
Where's water?
Thanks.
Question for you. We have to go all the way to the third floor. Does anybody need the elevator?
Might be my wife.
Your wife.
What a great group. Very good. You guys are so good. Congratulations. Exercising. All right. All right. So, as you remember, I mentioned to you the Carnival when he came back from China. He came back with all this idea how to create ingredients and do extraction. So, the first farm that he got, he was in 1942 in San Fernando Valley. Then in 1946, he acquired this location in Buena Park. This used to be a farm. And then in 1950, like even 1 centimeter between the lines to take off all the bad weed, all the uncomfortable roots that are going to harm our crops. So that's what the agricultural engineers are doing, looking at ways how we can better the natural farming practices. So that's the foundation that our founder Carmen left us. So because of the kind of the building, but over here, they were leftovers from World War II. Soldiers that were storing weapons in here in World War II. So when Carrembo purchased this location, he did it with a vision that he could even.
Thank you very much, sir.
And the way to do that.
They're very good source of calcium absorption. So that's a very good thing. And it also has excellent antioxidants. We have it in artistry products, we have it in double eggs, we have it in deli, and also in different things for the living room. And as you know, this is a museum. What happened in the museum, we don't touch anything. I want to show you this.
New Zealand.
Okay, as you can see, we have pictures of Carrembo and his wife. This is the living quarters. This is where they used to live. The sofa used to be a bed. This is where they slept. It's a sofa bed. And the refrigerator is from 1940s, which it was not electric. They needed to use those tongs to bring chunks of ice and chop it and put it inside the refrigerator. One of the things, I'm going to repeat it for the ones that are outside, don't worry about it. But the ones, one of the things is they Edith Rembo Cosmetics. And when Carrembo and Edith sold the shares to Nutrilite to Amway, they also sold. Go ahead and go through the next room while I'm explaining to the rest of the group. You wear outside or you wear here? You wear outside? Yeah, okay. So as you can see, we have the pictures of Carrembo and his wife Edith. Edith was very supportive to Carl, and one time Edith was Carl to help her to create some cosmetics that would have natural ingredients, and they would call it after her. Edith from Cosmetics, as you can see in the picture, in the front. And when Carrembo sold the shares of Edith Rembo, they neutralized, they also sold the shares of Edith Rembo Cosmetics. and now we change the cell then into rice. So Caramba created cosmetics in 1958. No, the picture. He's white. So the cosmetics this is where they used to. Yeah, all the way. Yeah. The outside. It is. The outside door is open.
With it, we have produced myself.
With a house mortgage.
It was the first machine. Unbelievable. Guys, this is history.
Yes. In 1941. We acquired in July, but when they started out, they started with the same. Sent to be made this brass plate. It has 100 holes, and then he will put the capsules in here. Capsules he obtained for the pharmacy, and then he will put the concentrates in here. So imagine he was working like this to make all the capsules to go inside, and then he will bring them down and seal them. So could you imagine one by one? So when somebody out there tells you no, don't worry about it, there are 99 out there. So that's called quality control. So then he will pass them in this bucket, from this bucket to the packaging section, which is right here. I don't know how we're gonna do this so you can all see. Pull out the packaging machine, and that was the amount for 1 month. I guess some of them that were there. Okay, so this was the amount for 1 month. Caramba, thank you for trying to comment. Canada was requesting to be everything stainless steel, and basically it was impossible to do that just because at that time there was a recession, a big recession in the United States. Things were financially very difficult in this country. His heart, that was what he really wanted. And but Caramba was an excellent reader. As you can see, we have excellent books in here where he was a self-taught scientist. Nothing stopped him to know. And I want you to know that Caramba, you can see Dr. Sun mentioned about this. He was able to read this. Okay, so this emission spectrograph, it is, they cost him $30,000. And there were only 3 in the whole United States. So as you can see, his beginnings were very humble, but he invested as much as he could in the company because his passion was helping people. So this is where he measured either one ingredient or a finished product. So that's how they called Nutri Cookies. All the IBOs were very excited that we have the first vitamins for children, and they bought everything. And then what? They start to return it. So when you start questioning why are you returning? They said the children, they didn't like it. There were these cookies that have vitamins and minerals inside. They did not commodify seeds. We do not believe that. We harvest at the time that we having the high levels of phytonutrients. Remember, we talk about the acerola cherry in a green stage is the best time. Then we obtain our concentrates, the steps that we didn't hear to have our concentrates. Then we dry them. Remember the room that we don't have to put the trays to dry. And then we create our different formulas with more ingredients. And then we compress them as you saw downstairs. We compress them so we can have abundance. So this is why we're different, because we have phytonutrients that are going to work directly in our organs. They're going to work directly in our cells. That's why we hear all these testimonies that the product has done miracles. We cannot say cures. I'm sorry. And Echinacea, blueberries, dandelion, valerian. One of the advantages that we have in this farm is that we are close to Mount. Here we have the Trout Lake, Washington East with 866 acres, where we have echinacea, spinach, dandelion, peppermint, oregano. One of the advantages that we have in this farm is that all our neighbors are cultivated organically. So over here, everything is pure. The air is pure. Whatever we put in here comes out, it is pure because all the neighbors are cultivated organically. So that's a very, very good thing. The Rancho Petacon Mexico farm with 1,589 acres, where we're growing spinach, alfalfa, rosemary, that's the new ingredient that we have in double eggs, and also the white chia that we're using in the new protein organics and also in the added strip products. When I went to visit the Rancho Petacon in Mexico, I asked them, do we really have to have snakes in the house? Because who wants to have a snake to control nature, right? We don't want snakes in the house, in the farm. So they said, yeah, we needed to kill the rodents, so this way they don't eat our crops. Okay, so my next question was, how do you protect the snakes so when you are gonna harvest, nothing happened to the snakes? And they said, oh, it's very easy. We just use cinnamon, hot pepper, and garlic, and we spread over there all the animals and the insects go away. We just harvest it, clean it, and that's it. Okay, so the second time when I went to the farm, I was close to the area when they were spraying the hot pepper, the cinnamon, and the garlic. And I'm telling you, it went inside my eyes, my nose, my throat, and I couldn't breathe. So I understood that I need to run away. So believe me, there is nothing. That's the way we control nature with the same nature. Our famous acerola cherry, where scientists said one simple acerola cherry has 150 different levels of phytonutrients that give us a lot of strength. In this farm, we have the ingredient, the fava tianda. That is one of the vegetables that we have in this farm that is helping us with a new formula with double eggs. And that's the biggest farm that we have in the whole world with production in acerola cherries. And who this farm belongs? Belongs to you, belongs to Neutralite. So feel proud about it, because being the #1 in the world with acerola cherries in here, it is not as one in the world with the highest number of acerola cherries. Okay. So over here we have some of the minerals and nutrients we use in the soil. I want you to know a very recycling process. As soon as we have the soil ready, then we plant our seeds. Like I mentioned to you, all our seeds, they are not generically modified. We do not believe in that. And one of the things I learned when we were in the pandemic, because I told you they give it can. Yes, because remember when we were in school and they people would play and they would top 10 and they would have to have it in our jar and how we use the floor and we'll do it in school and we do it. So, same thing, they do the same thing. So when they start, one of the things are lab, and you have also the lab who creates the food for the microbacteria. Because we create food for bacteria. The only way that we know that we have a problem as bacteria is if they eat the good food. So when the government officials saw it, they told me, wow, you guys have this is very expensive. And they said, do you know the other companies, they don't have it? And some of them, they sent that to be done outside, not some labs, and the other ones don't even do it. But you guys have it in here, and because you have it in here, you can prove 100% that you're free from bacteria. Because if you send it to be outside, even if it comes negative, you can have 97% free from bacteria because you break in the parent, when you send it out, that is not 100%, but because you have it here, it's 100% free from bacteria. So that to me was a wow moment because one, I didn't know another companies don't have it, and the other ones we can prove 100% free from bacteria. So to me that was an aha moment. Okay, do me a favor, can you please? Please go with me. We're gonna go downstairs.
You're still here, you're still together, you're live. Where are you guys all from?
From Lithuania.
Where?
From Lithuania.
Lithuania?
Yes.
Wow.
UK.
UK?
From Norway.
You guys all traveled very far. And then we also heard that you had to like make an accomplishment to get here. So congrats about what we do and how we do it. You guys have already toured our downstairs community.
Do you have any questions? Questions?
We lost last time when I was here, there was a part where they showed us vitamins who was on magazine for 10 years or even more to check out how many percentages of vitamins are still in after 10 years. Do you remember something like this?
I don't remember. How long was this? Do you know?
It's not so long, I think 2018, 19. They showed us a packet of old vitamins. I don't remember the time period, but for 10 years I think even, where they checked out how many percentages of vitamin C or B still is in there. It's nothing now about.
Well, one of the things I learned is that, okay, probably the ingredients are in there, but when it passes expiration date, it's recommended for you not to take it anymore because then the product that is in there, it turns as external radicals because it doesn't have the high levels of nutrients. Like it lost potency, but it doesn't have the high levels of nutrients. So it is not recommended after expiration date because it's not going to have the quality. I mean, imagine eating a rotten apple. You're not going to eat that. It doesn't have nutrients. But it's very possible the ingredient.
Particle size of the material anymore. But today I'll be talking about HPTLC. So what's HPTLC? It stands for High Performance Thin Layer Chromatography, which is a method developed to identify botanicals like parsley, spinach, and others. It helps us to distinguish similar looking plant materials so that the right ingredients are used for our supplements. Laid out here on the table are some of the botanicals we test in the lab, and on the poster here, these are the HPTLC plate images of some of these botanicals. They're not labeled because I'm going to have you try and guess what each of them are based on the profiles I'll be handing out in a bit, but for now I'll give you some background information on HPTLC. So each plant has a unique banding pattern like a fingerprint, so we test our sample and our control side by side, making sure that the banding pattern of our sample matches that of our control. Each color band corresponds to a different compound in the plant, and they're so colorful because we spray a reagent that undergoes a chemical reaction with these compounds to enhance the band's colors for us to be able to see with our naked eye. The reason why the components separate on the plate is because they have different solubilities. The more soluble will travel a greater distance, and less soluble will travel a shorter distance. So why is HPTLC so important in quality assurance? There was a case in which there was a mix-up of spinach and another botanical. After an investigation, we found out that our sample was labeled incorrectly as spinach, while it was cacao instead. So HPTLC plays a critical role in detecting such mix-up like this and making sure that the botanical that goes into our product is what it's supposed to be. So that was a quick overview of HPTLC, and now I'm going to hand you out these profiles. I only have 6, so you can form 6 groups.
Put it here.
And then by looking at the profiles, you can try to guess what botanical each of the image represents. Once you figure out, you can just shout out the answers to me.
Yeah. We just took you in a big circle.
Hold on, hold on.
Oh, thank you.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Buenos días. Pues ahorita ya son tardes. Días is in the morning. After 12 is buenas tardes.
For me, still in the morning.
Okay, no problem.
My lifestyle.
Buenos días, gracias. Okay. Okay, so here we are. So everything passes quality control. So when you take your double X, who's taking double X in here? Oh wow, everybody. Awesome. How many tests do you think double X needs to go through in quality assurance for you to have it in your hands?
500.
500, exactly, 500 tests. So we are going to see the process, what's happening in here. So we have one of our class member. Okay, so Karamber was in school and university taking a course because now he realizes I cannot convince people to take vitamins. So then he decided to go to having a class in university of psychology. How can I help myself to know how to convince people about taking vitamins? So then when he went to school, he mentioned to his teacher, Glastonbury. And then the teacher tried the product, he loved it, and he said, you know what, I had a very good friend who's an excellent seller, Lima Tucker. And he said he works in a company called Sanborns. It used to be a pharmacy, then it became as a restaurant, and then Sanborns expanded to a store. So the process they had in there in Sanborns was they were bringing people and they will get a commission for it. So that's when Carver started with all these ideas, and he told them, I would like to do that in my company. So he hired them both to work in the system of the multi-level market and be able to support the ideas with the project while he was doing research and investigation. But they got divorced from Carver Board because Dr. Glastonbury decided to make a book that he said the Neutralite products would cure cancer. And guess what? The FDA gave a big lawsuit to Neutralite. So Carver was furious because he didn't want that. That was not the purpose. The purpose has having balance in nutrition, nothing to do with cancer cure. So they were no longer around, but Carrembo had to fight in court for 10 years the problem with the cancer book and all the stuff that he did dismantled. And then that's why Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos decided to separate from Amway, from Nutrilite and create Amway, because at that time there was no television, it was only radio. And we were in the radio every single day, and the IBOs were insecure, like, what are we gonna do? Do we sell the product? We don't sell the product? What are we gonna do? What about if they close Nutrilite forever, then what are we gonna do? So that's when Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos decide we have to have a different product just in case this collapse, we continue with the same system and with the whole thing. And that's why they create the biodegradable soaps. So this story, no one else has it but you. Okay, let's go downstairs.
Wow, wow, wow.
We see the farm as a big organism. They need to have that of the microorganisms that we have in the soil to be When I went to Rancho Petacán in Mexico, one of the programs that we have is the children. We have a center, so after school the children can go to the center so they can do the homework. And now I find out the director from the farm is married to a woman teaching. Another great man. She's teaching English to the children and also to the boys. So that's another very great program over there.
Great presentation too. Thank you.
We're controlling nature with the same nature. And I want to ask you to welcome Jose. Jose, it is one of the maintenance person, and also he's a gardener, and he does a wonderful job in here. So I'm gonna ask you to please give him a big applause. Thank you, Jose.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Jose, can you please tell us why you started farming? What was motivating you to do this?
Well, when I was in my childhood, I grew up with my grandfather, which he was a farmer. In the main, they wasn't just a farmer. He wasn't using any chemicals, so he was using any fertilizer. Pretty much, he was using compost to grow his crops, and that's pretty much it got me so excited that that I wanted to keep on doing it. So, and then while I was growing up, I started working all different departments, but all different places, and that wasn't my idea. I wasn't happy at all. And then one time I had the opportunity to start working for Nutrilite at the farm, and I was so excited because I knew that Nutrilite it was going to be doing. I was going to be doing what I was doing when I was a child. When in my childhood, I started working on the farm. I was growing the crop for ag research, and then I was taking care of greenhouses, which we started all the crops to put them out on the field. And then I was using like hydroponic system, the water system that we were same thing. We were growing crops for ag research. And when you're growing crop, when you're at the farm, there's a lot of things that you have to keep in mind. Like the big decision that you have to make is using chemicals or using nature. And you know that if you use chemicals, you're gonna be killing all these beautiful insects and animals that some of them are harmful and some of them are beneficial. And then if you start killing them, it's not gonna be good for the environment. And plus, it's not gonna be good for your body. Because once you start using chemicals, all the chemicals that go into the product that we're gonna be consuming, gonna be eating, and we know that it's not good. And that's one thing that Nutrilite does all the time, that pest control does nature to control nature. And when we started growing all the crop, and then you start seeing a lot of pests coming because there's food for them, and that's when they pretty much you start seeing all that insects that are trying to eat the crops. Because when they're in the early stage, all the plants they have all the nutrients, and the insects they trying to eat extract all the nutrients from the plants. And what happens to the plants? The plants they start dying, and so whenever we started seeing like insects starting to start seeing more insects on the plants, that's when we started kind of looking into releasing ladybugs. Ladybugs, they like to eat aphids and all different soft body insects, and because these aphids, their life cycle is only 1 month, but they start reproducing at 10 days. At 10 days, actually, they're already adults. In aphids, they reproduce hundreds of one aphid will reproduce 100. They'll lay 100 eggs, and so there'll be 100. So what the only way you control them is just by using predators. They're gonna be eating bad insects, and then and at the farm, once you trying to control all this, that's not it. Actually, we got a gopher problem. We have mice, rats, and so what do you do? It's the same thing. If you start using pesticides, you're gonna kill those pests, but at the same time, you're gonna be killing this good and friendly birds that help you with the environment. So that's why we you see owls, or you see falcons, or you see snakes. They're good for the farmers. They take care of what they eat that pests that actually eat the Nutrilite farm in Lakeview. I had the opportunity to go to El Peracao, Mexico, and once I was there for a week. They took me to all the process, how they grew their crops, and how from beginning to once they were harvesting. It was interesting because that way they were they'll prep the soil. They'll they use a lot of solarization, which is they lay plastic, they kill all the germs in the soil, and then once it's ready, they use compost, and then once they have it already prepped, they start seeding, so they can start growing the crops. And then once the crops they grow, and they start taking all that vitamins out of the soil. So what do? Actually, you need to add more, I'm gonna say, fertilizer to it, more vitamins. But the way they were doing it, they had it like a big greenhouse, and they had worms, and then they were worm casting. So they were feeding the worms. The worms, they were processing all that vegetables and all that greens and brown, they were giving them nitrogen, carbohydrates, and they were giving them calcium. And so actually they were mixing all the products. So and whenever they were all their waste, when they were keeping that soil moist, on that worms, they like moist soil. So all the water was running down. They had like a canal. It was going like down to a small little pit. And from this well, they were pumping it out to a container, and they were making compost. They were making composting. And then they had like a big mixer, and they let it set for 24 hours, and then on the next morning they injected that composting to the irrigation system. So they were irrigating the fields at the same time. They were adding nutrients to the plants. It was very interesting.
Very good.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to us about the ladybugs? What do they eat and what do they do here?
Like I said, ladybugs. They are help on the farm that they eat aphids, and then they don't just start. Whenever there's no aphids around, actually they eat nectar from the flowers. So if there's plenty of flowers, you know that you're always gonna have ladybugs. And then if you have ladybugs, that you start seeing aphids, ladybugs, they're gonna start eating that aphids right away. And ladybugs, there's they were saying that they only live 1 year, but actually they already proved that they live up to 3 years.
Can you recommend anything to our guests for the best practices in farming with a garden?
If you have a garden at home, or you want to do like a small garden, same thing. Like if you first of all you need to decontaminate the soil. You do like little plastic. You have your soil that you're gonna be using. Lay a piece of plastic and let it solarize. Let the sun bake the soil. And once what it does, it kills all the bacteria or the germs. And then once your soil is ready, and you can start adding all the compost and all the nutrients, then you can start and make sure they're nice and soft, don't have any hard soil. The water won't be able to go to the bottom of the plants. And that's good practice. And then if you at home you have a lot of green waste. You have all the greens that are from the salads that you make, coffee grounds, banana peels, eggshells. Those actually you can mix them up and let them make a pile, or even there's some small little containers. There's like a compost mixer. You set it underneath the sink, let it work, and the compost mixers is the compost is ready in 24 hours. And then if you use the other process, it might take weeks. You have to wait until it breaks down, and then you can use it on your garden.
Wow, thank you. So now we're gonna go to our next station. And yes.
You want to take a picture? They want to take a picture of the ladybugs. They want to hold it or something or not?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yes. And, so if you want to hold them, you can do that or.
Acho que no fotografou.
Then drop it.
Eat it.
Yeah, I'll take it home. Want to take a picture?
Some of them
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah. I couldn't make it in the morning for yoga session.
No, me also.
Very tired.
And this is the area where we cannot have jewelry. One of the things I want to mention to you is the Nutrilite. Make sure the old employees will lead a healthy life. So we have our own gym. Yes. Okay. This warehouse is the receiving warehouse. Absolutely nothing goes into the production warehouse unless quality assurance already said it's okay, it can go through. But nothing else goes in here. And we receive all the materials from the farms, from the ocean, all the minerals, the ingredients that we need to create the vitamins. So they need to be tested so they can go into the production warehouse. Production warehouse has 9 levels, 9 of material that is being moving constantly. Every single section has a barcode regarding of what we have it. And imagine that this is a big kitchen and all these are your ingredients. So what happens when we're gonna make a cake? We need to have the size on us, right? So here, we cannot go inside, but this is the way of home where in the computer they put the formulas and they know how much we need of each one of these. They have negative compression, that means all of the rooms absorb the powder, so this way they don't fly and contaminate the next room for the next section, etc. So this is where that happens, in here. And it weighs the material according to what they put in the computer, and they know what ingredients they use. You know how much it maintain all the ingredients in a way that they're not going to be destroyed, especially the pharmaceutical. So all see weight of the ingredients. And in here, this computer, let's say, is the head of everything that is happening in here, because according to this computer, they know what ingredients are in every single area. Okay? So we're gonna continue. If you notice in the floor in here, you see those lines, those imaginary lines? Those are magnets. They hold down the forklifts, so when you obtain the material, the forklifts don't move. They stay steady. So if it is an earthquake or everything, it's nothing gonna have the material they are holding. So everything is, according to the computer, being held, lifted, removed, sent it to the weight ups, and then from the weight ups, it's gonna be sent to the mixers. So we're gonna go over there. Yes, in production, we have insect zappers here. So if we open a door from outside and a fly in foreign place to make sure that we don't have contamination in the way. Okay. So we're gonna go to the next section, please, Tony. These stocks, this is where they pre-mix some ingredients and they wash them and sterilize them in that section over there. As you see here, we have some bundles of guana. Maybe all this is one formula, maybe this is a formula, this is another formula, or this is another formula. So according to what we're using, they are mixing the stuff. Everything goes into the elevator that is coming down, as you can see, to the second floor to feed the mixer. We're gonna see the mixer right now. So this is the elevator. And as you can see, maybe all this is one bundle or one formula. So from the forklift, it goes into the elevator to the second floor, and then we take it to the mixer. Okay. We're gonna go to the next floor, the next section. Remember the square dots that I showed you, the square ones? Okay, they put them in here to be mixed, or do a premix. Okay, just wait here. Sorry. Just wait here. Thank you. Okay, follow me. So remember the square dots? They do a premix in there, and they bring them upstairs so they can mix it in this big, no, we cannot go inside. They mix it in this big mixer. For this one, there is 100, and it can receive 44. It's in a rotation movement, but inside, imagine there are waves, they find each other. They find each other, so we're doing the mixing in a blender, they match into against something, so this way we maintain the phytonutrient safe. So that's why we're doing this as sub-blending, an integration system. In these kind of containers, they can also mix oil and they can mix powder. For example, in Mexico, they have this, they had, not anymore, but they used to have a omega with vitamin in it. So to protect the vitamin, they did a dark coating to protect the vitamin, but they were missing the omegas and the vitamins that were in this kind of container. This is a PK50. It's called a PK for Patterson and Kelly. And it can hold 2,200 pounds of material, the ability to do 4 million tons. Okay, now I am going to take you where they do the coating. Basically what we see here is the vitamins are already compressed. They need to have the coating. Coating why? Because we need to protect them from humidity and heat. We need to protect them so they will not fall apart, and we can pass quality controls with the amount of phytonutrients that we say we have, or the amount of ingredients that we say we have in the label. So we need to protect them also for us to swallow it better. So we're gonna see where the coating happens. We cannot go inside, but this is where coating is happening. Right now, over there in those machines that you see in the wall, that's where the coating is taking place. For example, double X, it can take up to 40 minutes to be coated. And remember yesterday when we talked about in quality assurance that we have a lab made of ingredients from plants, easy for us to dilute it compression have to go reverse like that, and that's what compressions take place. But because we cannot go inside, they were able to show us this. This is a machine. This is an old machine. This is called Kikusui. That's a Japanese machine. And right now we're using German machines. They are called cores. Anybody here is from Germany? No? Okay. All right. So these Kikusui machines had 35 punches. These are the punches. And as you can see, it's similar to our double X, right? Okay, so the way it works is they put the punch in here with the molding, they put the powder in here, and then they compress it with the next punch, which is had our neutralized label, as you can see here, and it goes in here. It goes in here and then it compress it. So imagine this going around the machine. It has 35 punches. This is a small machine. It has 35 punches. So they found in each other like this, and it makes 1,800 tablets per minute. In other words, 1,800 per minute. Our biggest machine right now, which is the German one, the Korch, is making 34,300 tablets per minute. That means the capacity is higher, it's a better equipment, and we were able to really cover all the demand there is around the world. Not only we doing production in here, we also doing production in Michigan, because we can expand in Neutralite. Our location is kind of small, but we can expand in Michigan. In Michigan right now, they're doing the softgels. Softgels used to be here, but we cannot expand. And we doing only compressors, and also when we close Lakeview was the area where they were doing all the powders, like the protein, all the digestives, all that. That was happening in Lakeview. When they closed Lakeview, they took all that production to Michigan. So we are divided. Now, there are 3 countries, China, Vietnam, and India. They request us to give them jobs to the people in order for them to be able to sell the product to the people, to obtain our product. So what they do over there is that we send them the formulas, they do compression and packaging, and the rest of the world lives from here, or from Michigan. China, Vietnam, and India cannot sell the product to any other country except for themselves. That's an international rule. So all our product is being done in here or is being done in Michigan. But it doesn't matter if it is in Michigan or it is in here, or it is in other parts of the world, they're following our same manufacturing rules. We're very strong, very strict about all these things. And every study was correct. Like he really left the whole foundation of the way how we have to process it. Now we can say it's even better. It's even better because we have all this new technology, all this new equipment. I had a question earlier about if we take more vitamins, what's happening to our body? One of the things that the scientists discover when they create the vitamin B, for example, is that we have some transporters exclusive for vitamin B. So transporters hold the vitamin B, pass it to absorption, and then transporters come back to place and be relaxed to receive the next portion. But before, our scientists weren't able to see this process inside of our body. Now they do, because we have the kind of machines they do. And before we need to take 3 a day, but whatever our body absorbed and whatever it couldn't absorb, we were peeing out. Not anymore. Not anymore. We have the ability to create these tablets that are gonna have a prolonged life and be able to dissolve in our body accordingly. Do you have any questions? What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
Are you waiting yourself?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go to the outside, and all this going on is for you. If you wanna keep it or you wanna get rid of it, it's up to you. We don't need it. We are in the park. No. Because, yeah. And we compress it. And we are vitamins. We are not medicine. The FDA controls the drugs that are gonna go into the medicine. The cocaine, the marijuana, I don't even know, all that stuff. But what are they gonna control us? The spinach that we put in our health vision, or the tomatoes that we put in double eggs? No, we have vitamins. They cannot control us. They do come in here and give us regulations about production, like what we did. That we have to put our hairnets, our employees need to have eye covers, face covers, gloves, clean uniform, no rats, no roaches, everything is clean for manufacturing. But we don't need to have the FDA approval because we're no medicine. We are vitamins. Do you have any other challenge? Yes.
It's the good manufacturing.
Huh?
The good manufacturing label.
Yes, we do have the GMPs. Yes.
Who controls that? The FDA?
Yes,
They do.
they do.
Okay.
And we follow that and more.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
GMPs, the good manufacturing practices. And not just for the United States. We have Europe, we have Middle East, we also have Canada, they are very strict. We have Japan, they are very strict. Korea, they're very strict. So we follow the different GMPs of the good manufacturing practice of different countries. Any other question?
Print it in 1 minute. Bills.
This one, 1,800 maximum.
1,100. Yes.
But the big one, the gorge,
German.
like the German that we saw when we were in the labs, remember? When they were giving us the ments?
Yes.
That is the German one.
Okay.
That can make 4,300 tablets per minute.
4,300 per minute.
Yes. Remember the German machine that we saw with the
Research and development per year that utilize spend into inventing new products, like innovations.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's a lot. The question is, how much money does Nutrilite spend in innovation? One of the things that needs to happen, besides we invent something, we need to patent it. And patents can cost sometimes 25,000, sometimes even more. So besides all the ingredients they need to look into, remember we talk about that we have Wuxi over there in China, and whatever our scientists discover, it goes into this information library lab. And no matter where there are scientists in the world, they can get the information from this library, and they can start creating their own formulas. Like Jennifer, for example, the one he talks about omega-3 today, she's the one who created the formula with double X, and she studied for 7 years 1,000 plants, and she did 20,000 combinations to realize the fava tianta, the rosemary, and the turmeric are the ones together they find external radicals. So as soon as she find out, and it's like a huge peak of difference, then they patent it. They patent it immediately, and then they start working into double X new formula. Yes.
7 years.
7 years.
20,000 different combinations.
Combinations of 1,000 plants. Plants for the vegetables. To make the new formula for double X.
How many patents Nutrilite have? Do you know?
We have 900 patents, but also Amway patents too. And I'm talking about artistry and different patents. When I went to Michigan, they told us they got rid of many patents because they were about technology, and the technology has advanced and we don't need them anymore, so they sold them. But they're always innovating, they're always looking in ways. And now we're talking about molecular level, like they're talking about to see how our body works and how we can obtain the nutrients better.
7 years is an amazing time window. 7 years, it's an amazing time. It's unbelievable.
But let me tell you, when the pandemic happened, they were working like this to make sure that they can build an immunity. They know immunity was the issue, so immediately they start making tablets and they start making everything. When the pandemic happened, and remember we were all closed up, and nobody can come in, nobody can go out, but China says, bring me everything.
Yeah, it's a big news.
Bring me, we want everything. We want air purifiers, we want water purifiers, we want all the vitamins, just bring everything. So we were not affected, kind of. by that situation.
It's gone from 8.5 to 8.6 billion dollar turnover just after pandemic. It's gone basically up.
One of the problems that we had here in the United States is there was not enough hand sanitizer. The scientists create hand sanitizer on the spot, and they were just distributing to everybody for free. Hospitals, police department, everybody who needed it, it was there. You know what, I'm gonna just stay here to make sure that the doors won't close.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation of the day. Some of the ABUs and the customers, they have a question that is it okay to take so many supplements all together in one go?
Yeah.
And should they be having a gap after, say, taking for 5-6 months, have a gap of 1 month? Is it a myth or is it a reality? If you can just share some light on it. With your name and what is the title and utilizing?
Sure. I'm Nikki Contractor. I am the Director of Nutrition Product Development at Neutralites. I have a PhD in immunology and I've been making dietary supplements for about 15 years. So it's a great question about whether or not you should take, how many supplements should you take at once? Should I take them continuously? Should I build in gaps into my regimen? Which ones do I take in the morning? Which ones do I take at night? I think these are really super practical questions that every consumer has. I think in general, some rules of thumb that you can follow. Ensure that you're taking, each of your supplements has a specific targeted outcome that you're taking it for, so that there's not a lot of overlap amongst the different botanical actives or vitamins and minerals that you're taking. But if your products have, for example, you're taking a product with B vitamins, for example, a multivitamin, but you're also taking a B vitamin for energy, you might want to think twice about taking like that energy drink that also has B vitamins in it, right? So you want to kind of be a little bit careful about how you stack them and how much overlap there is in terms of the specific vitamins that are present. I think in general, taking supplements, so I'm a believer. I have a handful that I take every morning. My regimen is cod liver oil or some kind of omega. Magnesium, but I don't take that one every day because I take other supplements that have magnesium in them. I take a multivitamin that has botanicals in it every day. I take a vitamin D. And I take CoQ10 because I'm a woman in that like heart health age range, right? So everybody has some basic routine that's good for them and for their person. But it is important. Now, I think there was a question about liver health, and I think it is important to be concerned about that and ensure that you're, telling your healthcare professional what supplements you're taking.
Effect on kidneys.
Sorry?
And the effect on kidneys.
Effects on kidneys and livers, right? So you do, everything that you take into your body gets processed through your metabolic detoxification system, including your supplements. So it's important that you share that information with your healthcare professional so that you can partner with them to ensure that you're taking the right amount and the right things for you. Because that's really the best way to address that.
So should they be having a gap, saying after like having a double for 6 months and have a gap of a couple of months in between or not?
I like to make data-driven recommendations, and I don't know that there's any data that exists that suggests that you should take a gap. I think at the end of the day, it may boil down to how you feel, right? And that can be a very personal decision. From just like a data and efficacy perspective, you have to continuously consume the product in order to continuously have the active benefits.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, mucha rica calidad. Kab pizza.
Yeah, we just